Hey, good morning. Hey, it's Huntington's disease Todd. And to say I've had a challenging week or challenging month would be a understatement. I'm here today to talk about Huntington's disease is not about mind over matter. You know, when I was growing up, the old saying was pull yourself up by your bootstraps, try to do better tomorrow, shake it off, things will get better. All those vernaculars are not so good for people with Huntington's disease. Try to keep in mind that just saying things like that, like trying to have a positive attitude or trying to change our outlook, it's not always possible. So that's our title today. Huntington's disease is not mind over matter. I also said in there, through Huntington's disease too, we lose a little bit of our matter. So it's hard for us to get our mind over it. So I heard someone say the other day, and I thought it was pretty neat. They were talking about it might have been on TikTok. Someone said Huntington's affects the mind, the mood, and the movement. So I thought those were three good points that I could tie right into this whole thing of just pulling yourself up and getting over things. Sometimes in life, we're dealt situations, and all throughout we can deal with them, and we can move on and do things differently. I was even taught, the old saying, mind over matter, and then think and grow rich. If you think about it, you can do it. The other one was how to win friends and influence friends. I've talked about those things before. And the point of it is that when you get Huntington's disease, your mind stops processing things the same way. Your mind stops even giving you the option to choose. When you have a normal mind, you can choose daily what you think, pretty much how you feel. You can be mad in the morning, but you can be in a really good mood by lunchtime. You can make a big contract and feel really good. You could plan for the vacation and have a lot of positive thoughts and energy about that. But with Huntington's, our mind doesn't give us the ability to do those things anymore. So that's the mind. The mind is, with Huntington's disease, we don't always have the same control or the same ability that you do. So it's not just a matter of us getting over things and moving on. And early on, I think about the fact that when I was first diagnosed with Huntington's disease, I didn't want to go get therapy. I didn't want to go and get help because my mind just didn't really care about that. It wasn't that I was non-therapy or anything like that. It's just that was not where my mind was at that time. So, we talk about that through some of the other videos, but the point of it all is that with Huntington's disease, we don't have the ability to control our mind so that we can just get over things. So sometimes we can stew on things for a long time. And, I've done that myself in these last few weeks. Certain things that have come up, things we've got to do, some of the things we're facing through our, challenges at home. Real life stuff comes up. Now, as you get worse with this disease, I know that other people are having less ability than me to even deal with any of this kind of stuff. I'm just talking about from where I'm at now, and as the person that I was, the functioning person that I was, that was able to sell houses and do real estate and get out every day and go do things, all of that has diminished. So then you talk about your mood. So the mood with Huntington's disease, it can change. I was going to say it can change daily, but it can change hourly in all reality. We can get stuck in the valley somewhere, or we can, get high on a mountain. We can think about the things we have to do and the things that are, staying on our brain. So through all that, our mood can, let me look at there, very hard to control our mood. Like I said, sometimes it's not a matter of us even saying that we want to go to therapy, because sometimes that's not really, something that's really doable in our brains, or something that we don't think about. So I know that, early on, I wasn't really inclined to address the mental problems. I said the other day, getting tested for Huntington's disease right now might be a good time, but you also have to remember that comes along with getting tested is the mood and the mental and the mood part of it that sometimes can, throw you for some loops. I know that not all people are happy that they got tested. I'm 50-50 on it. Sometimes, I feel different about it. But Also, the mood that you're in can start making our minds, have weakness to them. So our moods can wear us out. So we can actually get physically tired. Having a bad mood or having something stuck on your brain, falling into that trap, it can make your mind work overtime, and then you can be tired, and you can be, maybe come off the wrong way with someone, say or do the wrong thing, act the wrong way. It can happen because your mind is challenged by your mood. And like I say, sometimes medications help, but also sometimes medications make us more, less capable of being alive and being alert and being awake and all that. So with Huntington's disease, you're not just facing one challenge, you're facing several. And then the third thing is your movement. Even movements, more or less, the more you get. Now, I'm not having extreme movements, but there's enough movement in my body that it probably does, make me more tired than I once was. Sometimes the movements can be such that you might start not feeling like going out in public as much. Having the movements can make you, can wear on your physical part of you, so it makes you tired. So all these things come along with Huntington's disease. Throughout the whole time that I've had Huntington's disease, my movement has not been my worst thing. I'm thankful too for the videos that I'm able to make and I'm able to put out. I'm thankful that, for the people that I'm reaching and we're reaching together, reaching out to people that are able to, use the things that I'm telling you, because when you're dealing with someone that has Huntington's disease, it can be so much different than dealing with, some other challenges that are out there in life. So the picture today I just wanted to paint for you is that with Huntington's disease, it's not a matter of just getting over it, moving on, try to lift yourself up, do better. And then the mental challenges, the mind challenges that come along, it can wear us out. The moods that we're in can be hard to fix. And I thought, one of the things I was going to say about the mood is just imagine, that you have a mood that you get when you're dealing with some situation in life. A lot of times you can get over your mood in 30 minutes or, before the middle of the day or by the time you go have lunch with friends or whatever it may be. Our moods may last for days, they may last for longer, and they may wear us down. And then, like I say, all of these challenges start wearing on our brain. So they can make us less comfortable in public, the movements that we have too. I was thinking about that. I'm fortunate, and I feel bad for those that have Huntington's worse than me, but I know there's a lot of cases out there where people, are facing more movement and more challenges than I am. And that can be also very tiring and it can wear you out. And I know for the caregivers, I've seen some videos where, just getting people in and out of bed or in and out of their chair, all that can become such a huge, giant challenge. Huntington's disease is not an easy answer type of a situation. And sometimes you have to step back for a minute and always remember, no matter what we throw at you or what we do, it's not always that we can even have a whole lot of control over it. And I've said early on, and I say it today, it's not us, it's the HD. So with Huntington's disease, like I said, it can make us do and say and be things that we don't always want to be. But deep down inside, like I said, we're still there inside, and we're still, doing the best that we can. But finally, at the end of it all, just remember, Huntington's disease it changes our mind, our mood, and our movement. So when you're dealing with someone with Huntington's disease, just remember that sometimes, no matter how much of a handful it is, take a step back, take a deep breath. This goes out too to some of those people that are out there caring for folks, people that, are dealing with the early realization that they have Huntington's disease, or dealing with people that have, had a loved one that changed on you in midstream and you didn't know why. These things can change us, how we act, how we treat others. And I've said that before. So this is the video today. It's all about Huntington's disease is not necessarily about being mind over matter. Sometimes this disease doesn't give us a choice. And because we don't have a choice, that's the reason why, and it can happen early, that we can't work, or we can't remember, or we can't think, or we can't do all the things that we used to do. I was a very successful business person, and right now I would be challenged to, go in and put something on the computer, kind of a thing like that. Anyway, this is Huntington's disease Todd, and just remember, the challenges of Huntington's disease, we just have to face them one at a time. Try to do it as a family. Hopefully there's people there that have your back and that can help you. So this is Huntington's disease Todd, and I am now, as I said, on TikTok. At TikTok, there is a chance there for sometimes for us to have a conversation, because I can text back and forth on that through an app that's there with it. So TikTok, and now, of course, on YouTube. So come to my channel and subscribe, and hopefully this will help you a little bit in understanding your Huntington's disease loved one. This is Huntington's disease Todd, and have a good day.